What's that saying? You know, a girl has got to do what a girl has got to do.
Wait, you're talking about honoring a pact that you made with Julian in hell just to try to win Ethan back. What's wrong with you, Theresa?
Whitney, if you had seen what I had seen last night, you wouldn't have to ask.
You know, it must have been your subconscious that made this whole thing up. Theresa, when you almost drowned, that's all. That's the only thing that makes any sense.
No, it wasn't my subconscious, okay? I was in hell, and Julian was down there. And he made me sign my name in blood on a contract. Now, if I don't carry out his plan, I'm gonna have to go back there. Or someplace even worse, and I will have to be there for all eternity.
Well, I don't really care what you think you have to do. You can't follow through with a plan that involves hurting people. That's not who you are. Listen to me, do you remember what Father Lonigan told everyone? After the Bennett house got sucked down into that sinkhole and Miguel and Charity got pulled.
Of course, I remember, Whitney. How could anyone forget?
Well, you're acting like you never heard it. Father Lonigan said that when someone does something bad, it opens up the door to evil. And once that door is open, evil spills out, and it affects more than just the person who did the bad thing.
I know, Whitney. I know. And I told Julian that I didn't want anyone else to get hurt.
Well, that's great, Theresa. Thank goodness, you know. At least you still have a conscience. You can't carry out such an awful plan. Tell me you're not going to do it.
You know, enough about my mess. I want to hear how you're doing.
She can't even be honest with her best friend. Now I know she's in my pocket.
Maybe Whitney's getting to it. Maybe she'll change her mind after all.
I wouldn't count on it, Tim Tim.
You were dancing on tabletops at the youth center?
And that's just the least of it, Theresa. I don't really remember all that much more, but apparently I did a lot worse than that.
Like what?
Like grabbing a microphone and belting out some song while sitting on some strange guy's lap.
No.
Oh, and that's nothing. Don't ask me why, Theresa, but I started acting like some kind of cheap slut with Chad. And of course, Chad gets blamed for it. My dad comes storming in the youth center and they start fighting.
Oh my God.
Chad got really, freaked out by the way that I was acting. So he snuck into my room last night just to check on me, right? And then that's when I just rip open my pajama top right in front of him.
You're making this up.
I really wish I were, Theresa. Look, someone must have slipped something into my soda at the party, and that's what got me high. But who would do something like that? Why?
Well, that definitely doesn't sound like Chad.
Well, it's not Chad, but you know how you can't tell my parents anything. They've forbidden me to ever see Chad again.
Sounds like both of us had pretty rough nights.
Well, you can't compare what happened with me to you almost drowning.
Well, maybe not, Whitney, but we're both suffering terribly without the men we love.
You know, if this is what love is all about, then I don't want any part of it. That's why I turned Chad down when he asked me to run away with him to New York.
What?
I was so close to saying yes, Theresa. I mean, you should have heard him. He painted this picture of what our lives would be like together. I would sing, and he would write and produce all of our songs.
How perfect is that?
He's absolutely positive that we can make it too if we just gave it a shot.
And you said no.
I had to, Theresa. I can't just leave my family, my tennis, everything that I've ever worked for.
Ah, Whitney, I could just slap you. I can't believe you would throw away a lifetime of happiness because you're chicken.
Really? Theresa, what would you have me do? Just chuck all my clothes into a backpack, hop on the back of Chad's motorcycle, and run off to New York to be a singer?
Why not? Whitney, you have a fabulous voice, and I know that you love to sing.
Yeah, well, I love tennis, too. That's why I spent my whole life
You've
working
done that
towards
for
it.
your father, Whitney, not yourself. Look, I'm not saying that you are not good at it because you are an incredibly gifted player. But your face doesn't come alive the way it does when you sing. Now that's your real dream, even if you can't admit it.
I can't just chuck everything and take that risk. Come on, do you know how many young girls go out to New York to try to become professional singers every single day?
We're talking about you, not them. Whit, I don't want you to wake up one morning 10 or 20 years from now and ask yourself why you didn't pursue the things you really love, like your music and Chad. I don't want you to regret the choice you made today for the rest of your life, the way I regret the choices that I've made with Ethan.
Okay, what would you have me do? Theresa, spend the rest of my life singing in some sleazy jazz joint like the one we went to that time? My mother would die.
Whitney, you can't live your life for your mother and your father.
But they raised me to be someone that they could be proud of. My mother is a respectable doctor. My father's an educator. I can't be a lounge singer.
Even if it's what you want?
You know, you sound just like Chad. Did you guys compare notes or something?
Whit, maybe you should think about that.
You know what I think? I think you want me to act as crazy as you do. You who just last night made a pact with the devil.
Because I lost the man I love by being a coward. And I don't want you to make the same mistake.
Well, don't worry about it. I can never screw up as many times as you have. I'm sorry about that.
No. I am. I mean, you have a right to make your own decisions. Even if they aren't the ones that I'd pick.
Yeah, well, nothing's worth losing a friend over, right?
Right.
Friends forever, right?
Well, I better get out of here. Let's go.
Okay. You know, one more thing. Before you go through with this plan, think about where it's coming from, okay? Just think about the consequences.
I will. I can't believe Whitney turned down Chad. I've got to...
Oh.
God, what are you doing here?
I just wanted to see if your little chat with Whitney changed your mind. Are you going to forfeit your chance to be with Ethan the way she blew hers with Chad? You could, you know, if you find what I propose to repugnant. Or you could seize the opportunity I put before you and take control of your life. Now, I admit there are a few little unpleasant tasks to be completed along the way, but by the end of it all, Ethan will be yours. It's entirely up to you, my beloved.
What am I gonna do?